Chelsea and I went to 2 different sessions together. One was called Managing Change, and as we are all in this, as we are in this big time of change with our churches becoming one church, I thought it would be a good idea to get someone's outside opinion on how to lead people through change. And I thought he did a very good job, and he gave us some ideas of the order of leading people through change. Chelsea?
I just want to read this quote that he had on our sheet. It says, "Change is the touchstone to our individual and congregational future. It can either energize or paralyze depending on how we deal with it. Change challenges our homeostasis as people and as congregations with the potential of creating fear. Treating change as a friend instead of as an enemy encourages us to move into our future with hope. Active hoping embraces change and helps further mission and ministry. Defining our mission helps celebrate the healthy new and maintain the faithful old." I thought that was a very appropriate thing for us as we're changing and people are excited but nervous and so many mixed emotions. He also said we need to focus on our strengths and then utilize those to help us come with the change and move forward.
Sure. And so there's three main areas for change, and the first one is creating a climate. So you want to build guiding teams, and then you want to engage everyone. So you need to get your vision right. So this is one of the first steps in us getting our vision right. Marlis is leading us to get our vision right when we have one church. And then the final step is implementation, and we together will do a great job implementing and getting us into one church. Chelsea?
Yeah. The last thing was instead of asking how do we survive as a congregation, we need to ask how are we serving our community and our congregational members. And instead of saying how are we going to bring people in, we need to say why are they going out. We need to be aware of why people are leaving or they're not coming to church anymore. So I thought that was very impactful also.
Okay, so that wraps up our change. And then we also went to a new idea on how to have Sunday school. So this congregation had 8 children and a new pastor, and that attended Sunday school, and he thought that they could get many more kids to attend their Sunday school. And everybody said, well, our communities are old and we just don't have the kids there. So what they did is they had a event. They had a Halloween event, and they had 300 and some children come. So he thought, it's not like we're old and we don't have young people with us. So they started redesigning their Sunday school. It's no longer technically Sunday school, it's actually Wednesday school. And they provide a quick supper, and they have a youth leader, and the youth leader teaches the Bible lesson, and there still are teachers, and after the Bible lesson, then they break off into smaller groups like we have normally for Sunday school. And it sounded very interesting. They have gone from this 8 to about 150. So, and they not only have little ones, they have high schoolers there too. So I think that would be a really great thing for our church.
And they also invite the parents come in and they do a Bible study. The parents will go do Bible study. Their kids will be doing their own stuff. So it kind of keeps everyone at church during that hour and a half, depending on how long they go for. And then they had even babies coming because their older siblings were in it. So they created a baby class too. And they gave us a brochure about it and like what kind of fun stuff that they do. So that's kind of an option possibly as we come together.
Yes.
Yeah.
Sure. And my last one was called Spiritual Development with the Church. And quite a few of you have probably been on council, and sometimes the meetings are really long and all we do is talk about business, and there really isn't any church or the Spirit of the Lord there. So this workshop really talked about being very prayerful before you start. It's not like there isn't business to attend to in a church, but they broke their meetings down into thirds. There was a half an hour spent on preparing, getting ready to work on the church business and asking Jesus to be with you while you are doing the church business. And then they took a half an hour to do the church business, and then they had another half an hour where they prayed. And I think that would be, again, another idea of how we can help our churches go in the right direction, in the direction that the Lord wants us to go. So that was my session, and I think Michelle is out there. Michelle, there you are, sorry.
I'll just do my last session as she's coming up. No, you're okay. So I also went to Connect, Share, Renew. It was an open discussion on how to connect with your youth in your congregation, as we currently don't have a youth pastor or anyone really helping. Well, we do have people helping, but not like a lead person. Currently within our synod, there are different churches that host high school Rise Up nights and events. They go to different churches, and then they pay $3 for a meal, and they worship, eat, and learn and fellowship with each other. And that's just for high school and to keep everyone, like, going to stuff like that. And then they discuss how to keep our high school youth involved and not phase out after confirmation, and ideas where to take like your youth group to a basketball game or forensics or like any kind of event that our youth are in to support each other. And then afterwards do like a little short prayer group, so that way our youth is interacting with each other outside of just church too. And they discuss a lot about peer modeling and how if we let our youth lead prayer groups, then it makes them accountable. And then people are going to be like, Sarah will call up one of the Keys girls, hey, I'm leading prayer group, will you please be there because I'm nervous, so it kind of gets all the other youth involved. And then there's an idea for parents not to get worn out from all the youth activities. So like everyone would sign up 1 month, and then they would take that month and lead the youth, and then it would switch to a different family every month. And then there was a lot of talk about intergenerational events and how to get our youth to interact with our older congregational members. So they have tech nights where like the youth help teach people use like a new phone, an iPad, how to send an email, like stuff like that. And they said it is a really good outcome, because if someone comes to church and like the person that was helping them wasn't there, they'll call them up and be like, hey, you weren't in church on Sunday and I had a question. Can we meet up and discuss, like, you help me? And then they talked a lot about women's events, because it was a woman and like leading it, so she knew what was going on. But they do like, the women's group hosts events like a spring fling where they celebrate everyone turning 80 that year. And they'll do different themes, like bring in your prom dress, your wedding dress, pictures, and they'll line them all up. And then the kids can go through and check out like the difference in prom dresses and stuff like that as they go. And then lastly, which I think is really cool, is they host a job fair night where people come and you can sign up for council, youth events, worship group, and like Sunday school teachers. So that way, like, it brings everyone in, you can learn more about it, and then if you want to maybe participate, you can sign up for it, rather than someone calling and making the phone calls. Like, it's more inviting. And that's what I have for you. Thank you.